Uh,
Good evening, dear.
Good evening, Tasha. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm here
Saucy
for
Sharon is in the house.
I'm so ready. We are getting ready for our AQ Summit uh, out in the out in the Southwest next week. I'm so ready for it. I'm so excited for it. I'm on the ascending to it now. I'm telling you right now, it's time. But tonight, how are you tonight, dear?
Listen, I'm tired.
Listen, I got it for the both of us. So let's just get into it, right? What about them Joneses?
I got too much going on up in the Howlands to be worried about the Jones.
Look, but it's a thing, right?
It's
It
definitely a thing.
is a thing. And you and I, gratefully, I like to say, have a circle of friends that are quite either successful, aspirational, or ambitious in their own right. And the reality is, if your mind ain't right, you can get offended really, really quickly or embarrassed.
Absolutely. But I think all of us fall prey to the Joneses, right? You can't be human if you don't, or you can't even be aspirational if you don't, right? You got to have something to aspire to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Our friend group, well, I'm just happy to be in the number. You
You
know,
always say, I'm just happy to be a number. I
I'm
always
so
look
happy to
at,
be
for
called
me,
friend.
for me, the difference. I grew up in New Jersey, in a working class community. And, everyone kind of had a job, right? And it was on the job. And what I respect about it is that there was a very clear disconnection between what you did for work and your personal life. No one cares about, in the personal life, no one cares about what you do. When I got to Maryland, everybody was on, especially DC.
That is the question.
That
So
is the
what do you
question.
do?
What is it that you do
Yeah.
and where are you going? I
Hey,
remember being,
Gail.
hey, is hi Gail. I remember being on the dance floor, not long after college, and part of the dance was giving your resume on the dance floor.
Mm.
Did you do that too?
No, I didn't because I was never interested in what people did because I wasn't impressed, right? So they would ask me what I did, and I would be like, I enjoy life. So if we can enjoy life together, then let's talk
That
about
you
it.
wait, hold on. You was that girl. I enjoy life.
I was that girl. Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna tell you what I do. Why is that important? Know me, like me.
I was like, are you buying me a drink?
Mm.
Because I can talk all night about where I'm going. I'm going someplace. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Like, yeah. All right.
But I mean, for me, back in those days, because I've been married for what, I don't know, 11, 12 years.
Ma'am, you just had an anniversary. It was your 11th year.
Yeah. So, but we've been together for longer than that, right? So, my dating life before that, I was young. Wasn't nobody nowhere doing nothing.
Listen, I don't know. I came into the scene and everybody was doing something. And I got into Baltimore and everyone, you had your career and you had your 2 and 3 hustles. Everybody had a side hustle. Everyone. Like, I was like, oh, I can't be at the back of the bus. Because everybody got, I mean, and I was dating guys who were real estate entrepreneurs and had aspirations of being in real estate and talking to me about business. So I mean, I certainly had that energy all around me. And I'm like, well, I ain't gonna be at the back of the bus. So I guess, but I think I was entrepreneurial. My mom had some entrepreneurial energy as well. So I
Yeah.
think part of that, and I'm just probably a pretty ambitious person. So, but our friend group,
Yeah. Do you think it has more to do with material things or ambition in general?
explain, what do you mean material
So,
things?
like the Joneses, are we talking about having the house, having the car, having the clothes, being able to go on this vacation or your kids attend this school, right? Is that keeping up with the Joneses in your mind? Or is it, something more, you know,
I think it can depend on whoever you are, right? That whole all them white folk in LA went to jail, right? Because they wanted their kids to go to Ivy League because that's what was, you know what I mean? So they lied and they spent all this money and putting their photoshopping their kids doing swimming when they don't swim at all to get into Ivy League school. So I think it depends on who you are, where you are, and what it, the Joneses could be anyone with anything depending on what you value. So
Yeah.
I think for me, it just encouraged an ambitious thing that was probably already within me. I think I was always somewhat probably strong-willed and ambitious, but yeah, it just sort of ignited that thing like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's get
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
So for me, I think I do sort of equate it with material things. And
Oh.
I've never been a materialistic person. Now, that said, I like nice
I was
things.
about to say, is it those, because those Gucci sunglasses say something seriously different.
So there's a difference between being materialistic and liking nice things. So the liking nice things, it's in my blood. I mean, you know, I'm a princess, I'm royalty. And so, it's just kind of in my blood and it's in my family line too. My people are shoppers, although I'm not. Um, but I mean, even growing up, like, what were the jeans that everybody wanted back in the day? Like Gloria Vanderbilt or something? I don't know
Yeah,
what.
then girl, please. If you don't,
Jordache. It was Jordache.
girl, didn't nobody fight? I don't know where you grew up. I don't know.
I
Okay,
grew up in
Jordache.
Florida. Wasn't Jordache? Y'all didn't do Jordache?
It maybe when I was in 5th grade.
I'm going way back.
My God. I mean,
Thank you, Gail. It was Jordache. Thank you.
you're agreeing with Gail.
We agree a lot.
Yes.
We do. I love her. My point is,
Hi, wait, Yvonne said
I
hello. Hi, Yvonne. How are you?
my point is, I preferred my mom to make my clothes just because I like that, right? Even at that age, I didn't need to keep up with the Joneses and wear this and wear that. Although it was in my house because listen, we know who my brother is, right? He's
Absolutely, his
fabulous.
brother's fabulous. Right.
But I don't think I really ever had a problem with keeping up with the Joneses. Now,
Well, I
don't
think,
get me wrong, I keep my eyes on them.
listen, but let me say, as your friend, you are the first one to notice. What did they get? I want that too. You are the first one.
That is
Uh,
liking nice things. What do you
no, no,
mean?
no, 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 no. So, for example, we'll give an example. If someone came to my house and I said, I did this, this, this from them, and you're the first thing, I don't have to even give it a half second. Oh, I know when I come down, I'm getting this, 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 and this too.
They ain't the Joneses.
But that is the whole meaning of it, Tasha. You want what other people have.
Is that really the whole meaning of it? This is what I'm saying. So I relate it more to material things. When I think about keeping
I
up
mean,
with
that's
the
fair.
Joneses, right? Like keeping up, that's doing things beyond your means to appear that you are a Jones.
I feel you. Okay, I see what
They
you're
all said I'm admiring, the things that you do for other people that you don't do for me. That's me admiring that and wishing that I had that
Don't
sort of
listen.
treatment.
Gail is
I
just
just did. So listen, I thank you, Miss Nan. Nan agrees with me.
what is Nan saying?
She said agreed with me.
She might have been agreeing with me. Okay.
Apparently it's the sauce. Come on. I know you got some tips though on how to keep people from
I absolutely. I mean, so one, I would say that the first tip is one, be mindful of using social media. I think that is the greatest lie out there, right? Because people are front. I sit there and I'll watch stuff like Love and Hip Hop stuff, just mindless stuff. I'm like, y'all don't make that much money on all of that stuff. Y'all are renting like a mug. And these fools out here watching y'all thinking, I gotta get this, I gotta look like this. Listen, no, it's a lie. It's a lie. It is fake media. It is fake.
I've always been the one against certain social media sites and that sort of thing for those reasons. I remember when it first came out and we'd be in meetings and they'd be like, I was like, I didn't get the invitation. They was like, oh, I put it on Facebook. And I was like, I'm not on Facebook. But I I would say yes, be mindful is the key there. I wouldn't, say don't believe everything on social media because a lot of people do use it as an outlet to
Yeah,
share nice things, right? Or
yeah,
share their happiness or
for sure.
sometimes to share their not so happiness. But yeah, I agree. Be wary of all the things that you see out there on
Be
social media.
be very wary. All right. Tip number two: use their successes as inspiration. I think
That's
that's
what
where
I
I
do.
fall. Yeah. I again, we have friends who are entrepreneurs, lawyers, venture capitalists, starting rites of passages. Gangsta E. I see Gangsta E in the comments, right? Starting rites of passages for women, for girls. I mean, financial auditors, changing laws around, hosting film festivals.
Yeah.
Listen, they're impressive.
Listen, revamping, an entire agency's brand, right?
Oh, well, yeah, that is that.
I do that. Building bridges, right?
How about that? Right.
How about
Major bridges in the nation's capital.
that's
Right.
right.
That's right. I mean, they are. And I think, but what I think that what is done for me is that, when I get home, I could never just come home and watch television and eat popcorn every night. Cause yeah, I mean, I feel so stupid around my group of friends. I'd be like,
Really? I might be able to do that for about 6 weeks. Like right now, I would. I would
honey, you got 3 kids. You got a bunch of people in your house, a whole staff. You probably should. Okay. But for me, I mean, I think it encourages me. Again, it's already in me. I'm not suggesting they're putting something. I'm not saying anything that you see that I do is for others' attention, but it inspires me. It absolutely inspires me to do more for sure.
And we always say, listen, I don't want to have to be on the yacht without you, right? I want all my friends to be there and I want to be there with all of my friends. Yeah. So it definitely is inspiration. I love a good challenge.
This is what I know, which is why I'm like, you kind of do keep up with the Joneses because it's a challenge in that respect. I'm not talking about a material, but in that respect for sure.
Okay.
All right. Everyone has their own timeline.
For sure.
That is something serious.
And that is something that you and I know when we first started partnering and sort of decided that we wanted to share what we were doing with other people to say, from a business perspective, this is we got our own timeline. We don't have to feel hurried or
Yeah.
rushed. And I think that we have honored that commitment
Yeah.
and not pressured ourselves in this.
Right. I mean, because we can look at other people's success and be like, oh, they got this, they got that. And we're like, but we don't know the price they paid to get
right.
what they got. And that is something people often forget. What's it worth to you? What did Oprah pay to get to where she is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you may not have been willing to do the very same thing that Oprah was willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What she sacrificed, what she went without, you just may not have been. I may want to enjoy the journey a lot more.
Right.
And have vacations and have relationships and have fun. But listen, as a single woman, I can honestly say, like, I have a number of married friends and I have a number of single friends. And so as a single woman, I can say, certainly there comes that pressure where you say, oh man, all my friends are married. But I'm here to tell you, I'm so good with it. Because I have married friends and I see what some of my married friends deal with. I'm like, oh, wait, oh, that's a lot.
Everyone has their own timeline.
Everyone has their own timeline.
Right? Yeah, listen, I was an entrepreneur before I started at my current company. And I've seen women that, are able to grow their families and still be an entrepreneur. But that wasn't what my timeline for entrepreneurship was, right? And so I had to back out of it for a little bit. And listen, now I'm back in for good reason.
Listen, for good reason.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I got my master's degree out very early.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, I can't, I'm not going to sit there and get so outside of school that no. Let me just go ahead and get this done over so I can enjoy the rest of my life. My friend here is
mean,
back
unless
in
you
school.
want to learn something different, right? I'm back in school with a different focus because I changed my path in life.
Cheers to you.
Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, listen, I also went back for a second one too. So
There
I
you go.
can't. Yeah, exactly. I
On a
went for a second
different path.
on a different path,
Right.
right? And so all of this is going to come full circle. But I think to our point that they're just things to remember. It's great to have it in inspiration, but also just kind of being balanced that everyone has their own timeline. I've got
Yeah.
a very good friend going through some financial difficulties, and he's waking up looking at himself saying, how did I end up here? And it's through no fault of his own. And he's not where he wanted to see himself. It's not where he thought he'd be at this point in life.
Yeah.
And it's hurtful. It's hurtful to him and it's hurtful. It's a struggle. However, I try to remind him and encourage him that, first of all the things that have happened to you have happened outside of your control. COVID was a really nasty thing to a lot of people. But listen, you haven't given up. You haven't broken, you know what I mean? You haven't laid doung. You're still getting up and you're trying. And so, remembering that everyone has their own timeline. Dr. Maya Angelou didn't get her real success until she was a grandmother in her 50s.
Mm,
I mean, like, you got to think about that.
yeah,
Doesn't always hit when you're 22.
that's right.
And it should, and if it does hit whatever that is when you're 22, you may not be fully ready for everything that comes with it.
That's it. I'm away from mine.
Listen, I'm here. Listen,
What else you got?
those are the 3 tips that I have, right?
Okay. I think relating them back to accountability, how do we, ensure that we sort of stay in our space and enjoy our own journey, right? Understanding that we all have our own timeline. How do we stay off of social media and stay focused on what our goals are? What was tip number 2? Go
Tip
back.
number 2 was user
Yeah.
success and
And how do
But
we
I would say as in accountability, I think having someone, particularly if I can be very focused on goals and things I'm trying to achieve, you can remind me, and you often do remind me, hey, but look at what you have done. Look at what you are doing.
That's
Like,
exactly what I was going to say, but I just didn't get it out yet.
get out my brain, get out my brain. You always stay in my brain. But that's just the truth of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
you help and you say to me, listen, but you got this, and this. We just had this conversation recently.
We
Something,
did.
something, and I was like, there's something I'm not doing, and you were like, but girl, you did this, and you got this. I was like, oh, you right, girl. I totally missed it. Do you know what you said? You know what we're talking about?
I don't remember, but
Well, the way your memory works.
yeah, my memory works. So,
And how do you think it works in accountability? Since I kind of took that one.
well, I mean that was what I was going to say, right? For all 3 of those tips, I think having someone in your space to just sort of keep you accountable and sort of keep you grounded and keep you on your own path, right? Because we all write our own stories and we literally should write them, right?
Yeah.
What our goals are, and we do that. And so I think accountability helps us you know, stay in our own path and don't be worried about the Joneses. We keep our eye on them because I like nice things. And, I don't mind if someone exposes me to something. I'd be like, oh, that is nice. Okay, okay. Yes, girl. Thank you.
So I think what's also very interesting is you and I have very different perspectives on what it means to keep up with the Joneses. So for me, it's very ambitious driven, drive, success, personal success, professional success. And you, it's it's based in material. And so both of us, so it's interesting, we both look at the same thing.
How
And
about the audience? What do you guys think? Is it
yeah,
more materialistic or is it more, what do you say, aspirational, goal oriented? That's trying to keep up with the Joneses? Let's hear what they have to
let's
say.
see. Is Danae on? Because Danae says she be on.
Ooh, she's getting called out if she's not. Of
So
course,
Gail says
Gail and
material.
I agree.
Not a surprise. Really not a surprise.
Gail is my people. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nan, what are your thoughts? Gangsta E? Yvonne, let's hear from the ladies. Materialistic or more aspirational? What does it mean to be keeping up with the Joneses? And anybody else who's watching this afterwards, right? Just drop it in
Absolutely.
the comments. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how other people see the
Yeah.
Joneses.
And again, for me, I can't underscore enough how, coming out of college, moving to Baltimore and being introduced very early to real estate development. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So Yvonne says materialistic. Well, maybe I got my own idea of what this is. Listen, I'm okay with that.
Evangelist says, I don't worry about other people.
I like that. All right. And or what they have.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right. So that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to say that I'm grateful that I have an accountability partner, and we encourage you, if you don't have one, to find one, or you can join us and follow us, and we can be your accountability partner and help
Yes.
you achieve whatever you're trying to and get your head away from the Joneses. And you can go to accountability.
Materialistic or otherwise.
Okay. All of that. Right. And you can go to accountabilityqueens.com to learn more about Tasha and I. You can always follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Right. We're here for you. And it has been a pleasure, Tasha, as always.
Yep. See you next week. Bye, ladies. Have a good
See you
night.
later. Bye bye, everybody.